MOV.
Me and my friend, we was walking down the street in the middle of the street, and we wasn't causing any harm to nobody. We had no weapons on us at all. We just walking, having a conversation. No cars were blowing at us or honking at us like we was holding up traffic or anything like that. Now, a police officer squad car pulled up, and when he pulled up, these was his exact words. He said, "Get the F on the sidewalk." And we told the officer we was not but a minute away from our destination, and we was shortly be out the street. We was having a conversation, and he went about his way for about 1 or 2 seconds as we continued to walk, and then he reversed his truck, his car, and in a manner to where it almost hit us, and it blocked both lanes off the way he turned his car. So he pulled up on the side of us. He tried to thrust his door open, but we were so close to it that it ricocheted off us and it bounced back to him. And I guess that, got him a little upset. And at that time, he reached out the window. He didn't get out the car. He just reached his arm out the window and grabbed my friend around his neck and was trying to choke my friend. And he was trying to get away, and the officer then reached out and he grabbed his arm to pull him into the car. So now it's like the officer's pulling him inside the car and he's trying to pull away. And at no time the officer said that he was going to do anything until he pulled out his weapon. His weapon was drawn, and he said, "I'll shoot you," or "I'm going to shoot." And in the same moment, the first shot went off, and we looked at him. He was shot, and there was blood coming from him, and we took off running. And as we took off running, I ducked and hid for my life because I was feared for my life, and I hid by the first car that I saw. My friend, he kept running, and he told me to keep running because he feared for me too. So as he was running, the officer was trying to get out of the car, and once he got out the car, he pursued my friend, but his weapon was drawn. Now, he didn't see any weapon drawn at him or anything like that, us going for no weapon. His weapon was already drawn when he got out the car. He shot again, and once my friend felt that shot, he turned around and he put his hands in the earth, and he started to get down, but the officer still approached with his weapon drawn, and he fired several more shots, and my friend died.
Sharon, this newest witness is 27-year-old Tiffany Mitchell. She says she does not know what led up to the Ferguson police officer firing shots and killing unarmed teen Michael Brown. She says when she arrived, it was just moments before the fatal shots were fired. Listen closely to what she says she saw.
As I was coming around the corner, I heard the tires squeaking on the truck, and as I get closer is when I see them tussling through the window. Like the kid was pulling off and the cop was like pulling in.
Tiffany says she saw the door closed on the police car, the officer inside and Michael Brown on the outside, and the two are wrestling through the window of the police car. At this point, she tries to pull out her cell phone to record, but gunfire begins.
That just didn't look right for them to be wrestling, but the first gunshot came from the window, so like I could start getting out the way because the shots just came after that.
After the first shot is fired, Tiffany says Michael Brown begins to run away from the Ferguson police officer. We should warn you, her description is very graphic.
At this time after the shot, the kid breaks away and he started running away from the cop. The cop follows him and kept shooting, and the kid body jerked as if he was hit. And after his body jerk, he turned around, he puts his hands up, and the cop just continues to walk up on him and shoot him until he goes all the way down.
Just after 12 noon, Ferguson, Missouri. The men you see in this exclusive cell phone video hear gunshots. They are about 50 feet away from Michael Brown and Officer Darren Wilson. The unidentified person recording this video captured the witness's reaction during the final moments of the shooting. Both men were contractors working in the area. They did not want to be identified. The man on the left in the pink shirt told CNN they heard one gunshot. Then, about 30 seconds later, a second shot. He says he saw Michael Brown staggering. Then he says Brown put his hands up and said, "Okay, okay, okay." The witness told us the cop didn't say get on the ground, he just kept shooting. That same witness described the gruesome scene, saying he saw Michael Brown's brains come out of his head, again reiterating his hands were up. Watch how he motions on the video. The video, these witnesses say, was taken shortly after the shooting ended. If you look closely, you can see a police officer in the distance beginning to put up crime scene tape.
And we'll get on that. Yesterday about noon in the 2900 block of Canfield, a Ferguson police officer had an encounter with two individuals on the street. In fact, one of those individuals at the time came into as the officer was exiting his police car, allegedly pushed the police officer back into the car, where he physically assaulted the police officer. It is our understanding at this point in the investigation that within the police car there was a struggle over the officer's weapon. There
Stop.
223.
Green Mountain, Dakota, on a gray color Mercedes, take tag 1318, golf.
This is Charlie 223 at 933.
223 dispatch 10 in the outlet, down Craig Street, black male, green shirt, blue pants.
Starting black male, green shirt, blue pants, down Craig Street. All units north in emergency status due to 223 chasing on foot.
223 dispatch, shots fired. Subject is down. You grab my taser.
That fatal shooting in South Carolina caught on camera in video that's difficult to watch. An unarmed man shot in the back by a police officer. ABC's Steve Osunsami on the ground with the latest, amidst questions about what other officers did or did not do to help, as protesters renew their calls for body cameras.
Oh shit. Shit. Oh, shit.
He told his bosses that 50-year-old Walter Lamar Scott had grabbed his stun gun after an argument over a traffic stop.
Just got shots fired. Subject is down. He grabbed my taser.
Moments after the shooting, caught on camera, appears to show Slager giving a statement to another officer.
He has been raised in the church. From day one, he sang on the choir. He played the drums. He would call his mom every single day.
He will be charged with murder.
If Slager is convicted, he could be sentenced to death, but a conviction alone could be a first considering this. Police in South Carolina have fired their weapons on more than 200 people over the last 5 years, and in every case they were cleared.
The video shows a squad car pulls up next to 3 men walking along the street. The deputy flashes a light at them. As he exits the car, 20-year-old Jonathan Cuevas starts running, and the deputy opens fire. We've frozen the video before it shows one final shot.
He fires 6 shots running towards Jonathan, and the 7th shot, he stands over Jonathan and shoots him right through the torso as a coup de grace kill shot.
The deadly encounter happened on the night of October 20th, 2010. According to the coroner's report, 3 of the bullets struck Cuevas in the back and the 4th went through his right side. The sheriff's department says the deputy opened fire after Cuevas pointed a gun at him. The department defends the deputy's actions, saying the shooting has been thoroughly investigated.
All right, don't change up your agreement. I'm going to try to walk with you. All right. Lawful. Don't try to harm me. Keep your word. I can keep you safe. All right? Don't worry about safety. I'm not a fucking murderer. All right? Don't try to harm me. I'm trying to harm you. All right? Do it. Get on the ground! Ground! Get on the ground now! Get on the ground! Get on the ground! Don't make noise! Put up! Moving up! Get your hands up! Still got the knives in his hand? Still got the knives in his hand. Still got his knives in his hand. Put your hands out to your side and drop the knife. Hands out to your side. Beanbag! Beanbag!
The shooting of Scott was captured on tape, they say, but so many other injustices are not.
All the time we've been talking about this systematic abuse. There wasn't a video to capture all those, but this time there was. And so we're here to just echo that sentiment, to call for a DOJ review of this whole institution.
Was at least one shot fired within the car. After that, the officer came back out of the car. He exited his vehicle, and there was a shooting that occurred where the officer, in fact, shot the subject, and the subject, they were fatal injuries. The entire scene from approximately the car door to the shooting is about 35 feet. There were shell casings recovered. The shell casings are all matched to one weapon. That's the officer's weapon. There were more than a few shell casings recovered. I cannot say at this time how many times the subject was struck by gunfire. It's hard to know. It was more than just a couple, but I don't think it was many more than that.
Sorry, I gotta record you. They just shot this man in the face for no reason. What was you doing? Were you walking?
Man, I had my hands up walking.
He had his hands up walking. He had his hands up and he was walking. Look, they need a picture of your eyebrows. He was walking.
So there's a pregnant woman in Ferguson. They went to the gasoline station, her and her boyfriend. At the end of the day, a pregnant woman that had nothing to do with those who was acting stupid over there lost her eyesight in her left eye and partially blind in her right eye. The police just fired upon her with a beanbag round from a shotgun. Didn't identify if she was doing anything wrong. She was sitting inside of a vehicle with a seatbelt on, but yet she's the one that lost her eye. Let me go roll the clip.
Darnella Connors is blind in her left eye now and can hardly see out of her right eye. Tuesday morning, she and her boyfriend, DeAngelis Lee, stopped at this gas station in the 10,000 block of Newhouse Ferry. She says as they drove off, multiple police showed up.
Pulled up towards the parking lot while we was coming towards the street when my boyfriend, DeAngelis, was trying to get away. They blocked us from the side and the back.
Connor says her boyfriend was trying to drive around county police, but police say Lee drove towards them. They also say the officer, fearing his own safety, used his less lethal beanbag round, striking the front passenger window, causing it to shatter. Connor went to another police officer who helped her get medical attention.
I'm very upset and very disappointed with the tactics that they used on trying to gain control of the situation that was going on. I understand they have a tough job. I understand that it was chaos, but there was no reason to fire upon an innocent person that's sitting in a vehicle. How can a pregnant person in a car in a seatbelt be causing chaos?
Police say Lee drove off. But according to police, he wasn't the only one causing trouble. 16 people were arrested on the lot, and police say they still don't know who's responsible for firing many gunshots there.
The behavior of other people gotten the consequence of my sister, which is unfair. I don't want this to be swept under the rug because of the behavior of other people. I understand that you guys are trying to be heard. We all are trying to be heard. And now that my sister can only see, literally only see one side of things, literally. And I really just want to have closure and justice for my sister and as well as for Mike.
Police say they issued a warrant for Lee's arrest and set a bond for $50,000. In North County, Brittany Noble-Jones, News 4.
He said, oh, he tried to hit me and, fearing for my life, I fired a weapon. I mean, man, it's like, I'm so sick of hearing that fearing for my safety, fearing for my life crap. It's like they all got the memo. I don't know, whoever lawyer told him to say that junk, boy. I mean, it's just like in every situation, he's saying the exact same thing, fearing for my life.
Florida. We're right at 270 in Lucas and Hunt by the Home Depot. There's several different stores in this building here that police are trying to contain as they keep making rounds through here, checking for any broken into places they can find. But I personally have counted probably 10, 12 stores broken into, windows smashed in this area. But as you can see from the Mazda Roadrunner video, these individuals just diving right through that plate glass window, rushing in. In just a moment, you'll see people coming out with armloads of merchandise here in this North County area. But as Chris Higgins reported, it looks like it may be settling down. Some of the road traffic, some of the cars on the streets, the traffic seems to be dying down just a little bit. But as you're looking at video here, you can see that people are still looting these stores in this North County community.
All right, Bobby, thanks so much. I want to check in with Melanie Moon now. I understand.
Hey, good morning, guys. Yeah, they just moved across the street at a beauty supply place. I heard the glass break as I was up here, and people are running in and just running out with boxes of those hair extensions, anything they can grab here. I've seen just children as young as probably 10 years old going in this store. So quite a chaotic scene here. Actually, pickup trucks pulled up as they continue to carry ice in this area here, this store. But no police on the scene, alarms going off, and they just seem to be moving from one store to another store here in this North County area of West Florissant Chambers.
Bobby, where exactly is this store in relation to Zisser Tire and Auto Service that was on Chambers and West Florissant?
That's just right across the street. It's on the northwest corner of the where the tire store was that was being looted. But I've seen a lot of people pulling up here. A lot of people coming up to watch that seem to be getting involved in this and then starting to take part in this looting.
Yeah. So it seems like this is a different group of people, or would you say these are the same individuals that were at Zisser's?
Well, there's a lot of people that are showing up. I see a lot of people with alcohol sitting on their cars. They seem to be rooting these people on as they go into these stores. Then some of those people will run over. I saw a car that had pulled up just next to me, and I pulled out of the area because this store was just right behind the Mazda Roadrunner. And as I pulled away, I noticed the people that were in the car next to me got out and started partaking in this looting. So I'm kind of moving around. I'm in a Walgreens parking lot here, which is just jammed, but not a police car on the scene. And monitoring my scanner traffic, I understand that the Quick Trip, the center of the earlier looting and window breaking, is now on fire. So they're trying to get fire apparatus into that scene and get some of that maybe get that fire put out. But just a very tense situation here in North St. Louis County this morning.
Yeah, and you can see people are running out of the store and putting merchandise into a red vehicle. Looks like 2 people are running down the street with armloads of vehicle. And these are women. These are men and women. There's a woman right there picking up product from the ground, and I guess she's going to take it away. I mean, it's really something to see.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Thomas Sotomayor. I left going from St. Louis this afternoon, and I turned into CNN and I was listening to what they were saying, and I got to put this message out there. And hopefully some people will listen. I guess we can call this news or blog. I don't know which one you'll put it. I don't even know if I'll be able to upload it from the phone. But I got to say this real quick. Missouri, St. Louis, Ferguson, there's no excuse in hell that you should be looting 6 days later after an incident. There's no excuse. There's no excuse that you are tearing up your own stores in your own community. There's no excuse that the majority of the people who are there trying to quote unquote loot those stores don't live there. They are Negroes from other places who just looked on television, saw, hey, I can go get me a TV. Hey, I can go get me some Nike shoes. I can go get me some rims. Now, right now, Ferguson, St. Louis, Missouri, has the eyes of the nation on it. And instead of purporting yourselves like responsible citizens, what is happening is you're purporting yourselves as everything that they want to stereotype you as. The news is having a field day showing you black people as idiots, as savages. I've even heard some cops refer to you as savages. So let me tell you something. If this is the best you have, black people, this is the best you have, well, that's pretty cool. I can put it on the steering wheel. If this is the best you have, if that's the best you are, then you have failed yourself and you have failed this cause miserably. There is no excuse for anyone to be doing what you're doing. And the fact that it's going on 6 days later is going to give them every right to send every piece of weaponry that they can send. Now let me say this to the Ferguson Police Department. The Department of Justice told you not to release the film of Michael Brown. I just found this out today. They asked you explicitly not to release that film just yet because you did not release it on the first night. And you've released more information about the guy who's dead than you have released about the guy who killed him. That's a problem. You released this video after the one night that there just happened to be some rest, which was the one night I just happened to be on the street. So either I got lucky or what? But that one, you're saying that the arresting officer, and this is Mr. Johnson said this, the arresting officer had no idea that Mike Brown was involved in a robbery. Yet he changed his mind at the end of the statement, and you guys need to pay attention, and a lot of you apparently don't, and I'm on the road and I still can pay attention. Then he tried to change it and say, well, it's possible that the officer knew he had done this strong arm robbery. The Department of Justice understood that if you put this out, what you're trying to do, and if you notice that a lot of people in my comment section decided to take this as, see, that lets you know he's a bad guy. And as I said in my video, it doesn't matter what he did because he didn't have a weapon, which means he didn't deserve to be shot. Not only not once, but not 7 more times on top of that. That's called overkill, literally. But you released this tape anyway. And looting and rioting started that night. So while you're asking the citizens to handle their own business, which they should, you need to take some responsibility for what you did. Now, citizens, it is your job to protect your own community. It is your job to realize that not only are you having Negroes who kill each other every night out in the street, and you don't riot or protest. So for you to do it because a cop has, and not protest, that's not a problem. It's the rioting and the looting part that doesn't make any damn sense. And you're doing it as if it's the best thing for you to do. I'm asking you to buck up. I'm asking you to change your tone. I'm asking you to make sure that the hooligans don't get to come from out of state, because you cannot blame the cops for doing anything that they're doing right now when what you're doing is going out and robbing and looting stores. There is no excuse. 6 days later, something should be done more than just let's tear up our own stuff.